This is XY Spark, restoring holistic, healthy masculinity. Hello, good morning, and welcome to another one of our programs here on XY Spark. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a fantastic week so far. It's a Tuesday, April the 26th. We are almost at the end of another month officially in the year 2022, and time continues to race on ahead. I hope that you have been able to continue to work on your goals, to do some things to help you to become the best version of yourself. We continue to remind you here at XY Spark that personal development is not an event, it's a lifestyle. And you have to take ownership and responsibility and work on that every single day, knowing that your mental wellness is your responsibility. I want to send a huge shout out to all those who continue to listen to our podcast, those who are in places across Europe, those who are there down on the African continent in South America, North America, and the Caribbean. We appreciate you. Thank you for being faithful listeners of XY Spark. If this is your first time joining us here on XY Spark, please like, share, and subscribe. And please write a comment so we can know how this episode has been helpful to you. We continue to say thank you and a huge shout out to all those who are patrons. And by becoming a patron of XY Spark, you continue to support this mission that we have to promote holistic, healthy masculinity as we seek to engage with more men by preparing a safe space for you to come and engage in practical, real, true to life conversations that helps you to become the best version of yourself. The program is Morning Mania, and the theme today is Take Back Tuesday. If you're joining us for the first time, we want to remind you that Morning Mania is a program designed to provide a meal in the morning for men on the move with daily motivation, inspiration, and life coaching tips that seek to motivate, empower, and nurture a changed mindset. I am your boy and men's life coach, Rolando. We also want to acknowledge those who are there. You may be at work right now. You're taking a time just to tune into what we're doing. Thank you for doing that. You may be on your break. You may be on your way home from work. You might have just gotten up out of bed. You may be in a conversation and you're browsing the internet and you came up on XY Spark. We are glad you are here. Please don't go away too quickly. Tune in. This may become a very vital part of your day to day functioning because that's our passion and our goal to seek to promote holistic, healthy masculinity. We also wanted to remind you that we are a little more than a month away from our Men's Mental Health Awareness March, which will be held in at least two places. Right now, we want you to know that you are more than welcome to participate in this Men's Mental Health Awareness March, and you can reach out to us and we can connect with you and we can do this together as a community. Your location, where you're located, should not stop you. If you're in Europe, Africa, the Caribbean, you can join us on June the 12th. June the 12th, 2022. That's a Sunday. We want to have a men's mental health awareness march. The main location for this program is going to be here in Fort McMurray, Alberta. But there's also going to be another group in Rocky Mountain House, Alberta. If you're in Edmonton, if you're in Calgary, if you're in Toronto, Oshawa, if you're in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Montreal, wherever you are across North America, if you're in the United States, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, and you want to participate in this program, please, you are more than welcome. Just reach out to us and we can sure help you to put it together so that you can promote holistic healthy masculinity by your participation in this men's mental health awareness march. Put it in your calendars. June the 12th, 2022. And we also want to mention a time change. We want to move the time a little later in the afternoon from 11 a.m. to 2. Okay, so we want to move the starting time from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And we're hoping to be out there walking within the community to bring more awareness about how men's mental health is also something that we need to be very mindful of, not just some of the time, but all the time. Take back Tuesday. Take back Tuesday. I would like to begin today by talking about my own experience and my own journey. And why am I so passionate about men's mental wellness? My journey started in a very humble environment. My family was not one that's wealthy. And through the years, as I went off into the community, I was fortunate enough to attend high school, but not as fortunate to be a graduate of high school. So my journey to high school was somewhat, I want to say, it was somewhat complex or complicated. Why? Because of my 5 years attending high school, at the end, I had nothing to prove. So I consider myself a high school dropout. And for many, many years, I was just living from day to day, not going anywhere, not doing anything with my life. And at 17, I left high school. At 19, I became a teenage father and had a young woman that was now pregnant. And I was also asked to leave home. So, yes, my dad said, it's time for you to go because you're now a man, he said. And so I had to leave home. I had to find a place. Never really had a job, but I had to find one. And my journey started immediately from being a young teenage boy to being a young teenage quote unquote man who had a baby on the way and a woman and a woman to take care of. This was the scariest time in my life. But I continued that way for many years, and my life took many turns as I was engaged in drug use and alcohol and hanging out with the boys on the street, being in that life of a gangster. It went on for several years, and I wondered, how did I get here? And how do I get out of here? And it's so ironic that I had one good friend who said to me, Rolando, there is something better. But this made no sense to me. What are you saying? And guys, I want you to understand that when you're in an environment, that environment becomes your bubble. And sometimes it's hard for you to see life through any other lens because this has now become your norm. Throughout those years, I was able to experience the unfortunate thing of seeing several of my childhood friends losing their lives fatally. And the trauma became so present in my life that it had become normal for me to wake up in the morning and hear that another one of my childhood friends have died or had gotten arrested and is serving years in prison or is missing and no one knows where they are or has gotten injured so badly that they're admitted in the intensive care unit. Because of that life, I've seen and experienced several scars physically, emotionally, and psychologically. And I wondered to myself, where can I go? Will this ever end? But along came a good friend and said to me, Rolando, you can do something different. He said, come with me. And I was a kid who I had a spiritual background, but I had drifted away. And for my listeners who are listening to this, this is not me telling you or preaching religion or Christianity or theology. This is me saying that this friend came along and said, why don't you go with me to my place of worship? I said, are you kidding me, man? That's not for me. But he was consistent. And for 3 years, he said, Rolando, if you try, this will help you to get your life back. So I went with him, not knowing if it made any sense. And I remember when I walked into that place, it was a weird feeling. I felt like I did not belong. It was a safe space, but I'm not used to being in safe spaces. I'm used to chaos. I'm used to conflict. I'm used to being on guard, looking over my shoulder all the time, trying to do and make sure that I'm walking the straight and narrow so that I can remain safe. Now, it took in excess of 9, almost 10 years after going through so many different life experiences for me to finally accept the truth that my situation needs to be changed. And so, visiting that building that day with my friend, I had to make the decision whether or not I wanted to take my life back from chaos. I had to decide whether or not I need to take my life back from unhealthy environments. I have to decide if I need to take my life back from living in pain and normalizing trauma and continuing on the path that is leading to self destruction. And so my journey began. And this is where the process started, where I could have taken my life back. And yes, after almost a decade going around in circles, I found faith. And this journey turned me now into, gave me new insight. It moved me into a different mindset. So I went back to university and I started to take my life back. You see, what I did not tell you is that when I was much younger, I was doing well academically. I started preschool at grade 2 because grade 1, I was far beyond that. And I left when I was in grade 5. I never went to grade 6 because I was doing well. But then high school came along and drugs came along, and the rest would have been history until I decided to take my life back. I shared my story with you today because you may be like me, who you have done some things in your life, you have experienced some things, and your life continues to remain stuck in the pain of your past. I want to encourage you today that this is your opportunity to take your life back. It's never too late. It's never too late. Once you are listening to this podcast, it means you still have some time. You may be feeling discouraged. You may be feeling like it makes no sense. I try. The mess is too great. I can tell you, I get it. But you can start by taking your life back today. You can start by lining yourself up and recognizing that there is a possibility that change is still possible. So I want you to repeat after me today as you begin this process of change. Begin to take your life back. I'm ready. I'm willing. And I am going to do what it takes to take my life back. I am willing and I'm ready to do what it takes to take my life back. It's Take Back Tuesday. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your day. This is what you've been waiting for. Take your life back. Break those cycles. Heal and become the best version of yourself. This is your boy and men's life coach Rolando here in XY Spark. Thank you for joining us. Join us again tomorrow at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time when we will have yet another episode for you here on Morning Mania. And as usual, we continue to remind you that at XY Spark, we believe that there is a spark in you. This is XY Spark, restoring holistic, healthy masculinity.